Oh, there's one. What accents are they speaking with? Oh, well, Michael's accent is how do I put this? Years of presenting has definitely
ruined it.
Yeah. No, you definitely don't sound like you're from here anymore. Got a little bit of that, and I'm not quite sure. I try to neutralize it a little bit, especially when I'm speaking to you guys, but textbook middle of Northern Ireland, Mid-Ulster with a couple of years in Belfast, Northern Irish. It's I've heard people say they like it, not mine, but ours in general.
Yeah.
And I don't see it, but I don't think anyone sees that about their own.
I think that happened after 50 Shades because of Jamie Dornan.
No.
But I don't know what he sounds like. And I have to imagine he's got one of those accents from Hollywood that's like trying to be posh. By the way, we have a place called Hollywood in Belfast. And the running joke is that people from Hollywood have got that, kind of, pinkies up, shopping in Marks and Spencer's, sort of upper crust trying accent thing. So we do have a question from Phage Lives, who says, and thank you for the super chat, if you were in charge of making a PvP map, what type of map would you make? Now that's kind of hard, just completely off the cuff, because I'd say generally, if I'm thinking about what to do right now, it's actually going to be, I want to in a way not innovate. I want twists on what we know the current player base actually enjoys, and then to focus on content. And then once content cadence is established that is good for PvP content, then maybe time to make those more experimental bets. So I feel bad that my answer for you is so boring, but it basically does come down to another config of a CTF and another config of domination.
Yeah.
I'd like to change up the map. There's different styles of CTF as well.
Yeah.
That other games have done. So it's those, and then that would mean it would be talking about, what is the lane layout and all that stuff, which I obviously couldn't come up with in a stream.
No.
Yeah.
It's because I was thinking there, a lot of what works super well, or what could work super well and works when it does work, it's fantastic, but it's very sparse, and it's old shooter design. It's old shooter map design with, like, you put your powerful weapons and buffs, interestingly, to use them as similar in power to the actual objectives of the map, and they do that okay, but in most situations, like I'm thinking of, I can't remember all of them in AB, but I'm just thinking of down a gold mine, and it's just there beside the thing, which means you run up and get it if you're fighting.
Yeah.
So I think they could be doing with a lot more inspiration from, like, wait, just go back. Just go back.
Do that.
Unreal Tournament. Go back. Make a simple version of one of those CTS or one of those capture things. Just make it different. Make it feel different. Balance it as well as you can through terrain and stuff like that. And I think terrain's actually something they could use. They use it okay. I think could be used a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of how much fun do you have in Eye of the Storm every time you're in the middle?
I am Hunter. I've got bursting shot, and I could have explosive trap.
Yes,
it's good.
The very first,
real good.
The very first thought I had when I finished my gravity gun as an engineer of the expansion was, I'm going to Eye of the Storm. Let's see what I can do. So I think working with terrain and working with buffs in a way that gave, like, dynamic little map control points would be super fun. I mean, interesting buffs. Like, it would be stupid, but imagine just a little divine shield buff in the corner, and if you're a rogue who can go super fast, maybe you can pick up the divine shield buff into a point.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's stuff like that.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh my god.
Just add a lot more stuff around the map to make it feel interesting.
Yeah,
that's what I like to do.
People brought up solo queue as well. I'd say look, as a player, if I just want to log in and do some solo queue, sure. And I guess people are mostly saying solo queue in the context of like doing your 2v2s and your 3v3s, in which case it's it's like how things would go in LoL. But there's kind of a problem there, because in LoL you solo queue, but you don't know what champ you're going to play, or I don't know, is it hero, champ, whatever. But you don't know who you're going to play when you solo queue. So that means that you and your partners, basically, you know, your comp is worked out as a part of being a solo queue player. The problem with World of Warcraft is if they're just going to randomly bash 3 specs together, maybe with a rule that there must be one healer. What's then going to happen is a whole bunch of your wins and your losses are not going to be because of your strength as a player. It's just going to be because of the comp that Blizzard's random bashing of people together system is able to make. And that's going to kind of diminish how much your solo queue rating is worth. Now, if there's a way they could do solo queue, then I think that would be quite good. You know, solo queue while still maintaining a rated element. So maybe they could do something there with it. It's just, for me, it's comps and metas, and it's really hard to bring that all together.
Yeah, it's one of those problems where, I mean, I think that's kind of similar to what they ran into with Overwatch Blizzard, and it's why it happened with League for so long, where it's like that balance is so difficult, and World of Warcraft has the permanence of it, which makes it so much worse to be able to swap. So it's a case where if there's no solution, what do they do? Do they not solve the problem? Do they say, nah, we can't? Or do they go, okay, this isn't perfect, but it'll do? It's the case where I think solo queue is I'm thinking from purely my perspective, based on what a couple people have been telling me about PvP, I would solo queue, but only because I want to avoid boosters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd solo queue just so I'm not going to be up against. I mean, obviously people can tank the rating and stuff, but there's no reason to solo queue if you're a booster. So I think that keeps rating a little bit. It adds a whole other set of variables, but it keeps at least your player skill as part of it. It's the only thing you can control, but it's a little bit tighter to control, and you don't have Smurfs and boosters absolutely wrecking you to beat it.
Yeah, I suppose there are almost certain ways it could work.
Yeah.
It's just about what levels of, but this is a good reason why not. How many of those are you willing to accept before you move to some form of solution?
I imagine the team has a very, very long list of pros and cons on a virtual whiteboard somewhere, and I guess it's hard to add up what to do there.